Everyone. Hope you're doing well. Can you all hear me well? Okay. So first and foremost, please have your videos on. Otherwise, it makes no sense to be in a networking event. If you cannot have your videos on, please leave the room. So I'll wait for a few more seconds to see if you can have your videos on. Now, before we welcome the newest members to this community, I would love to hear from the folks who wrote their prelims. You would have checked your papers, answer keys, and whatever. Now, revised thoughts, revised opinions. How many of you legit think you will be cracking the exam this time around? You have the confidence and the spine to say that you will crack it. Okay. Good. Ritu, what worked well? What's the score?
Sir, I checked with two different one, and it's scoring between 82 to 92.
Okay.
And I'm
And
having the feeling like when I gave the exam that time itself, I was like having the feeling that I will be clearing this. I don't know what will be the like exact marks. That was the instant feeling I was getting at that time.
okay, and was this your first attempt?
No, if you go statistically, then it's fourth, and if you go by efforts, then it will be first.
No, statistically. UPSC cares about that.
Statistically, then it will be fourth.
Okay. And this will be the first time when you will crack prelims, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So what worked well for you so that others can also benefit?
I think
And
this
advice
time
for the newcomers also. Yeah.
okay. I think what worked is preparation for mains initially, because last year also I did a bit of like little bit of preparation, not like 100%, like 50% preparation, but that was just focused on prelims. And this time I first prepared little bit prepared for mains and then for prelims. Second thing worked is the calmness of the mind, like sitting there. And every time the question was coming, so I was not thinking that whether I know this or whether I don't know this. I had this attitude that I just have to solve this. What's the answer? I just have to find that one. Okay, so um, that is one thing. And I think just the confidence that, yeah, I'm well prepared this time. I have done what all I could do this time. So, and then just letting it go. Okay, like before paper, just let it
Okay.
go. Like, okay, what will happen is not in my hands right now.
Okay.
That give the peace of mind.
Now, some of you who wrote your prelims and are confident of clearing it, I will advise you to not go for work, to not join that workplace. I know it's a controversial advice, but if you're sure that you're clearing it, do not waste time. And I'll talk more about it in some time. Okay. But if you are dicey about seeing your name, you can go back to the workplace. Samant, what about you? What worked?
So first of all, staying calm. You said reach the exam hall early and you'll see comedy. I did see that. I was hearing your voice in my head. And both the papers I gave well, but after leaving the exam hall and like hearing people that it was so easy, so easy, so easy, I started doubting myself. Was it really that easy? And when I checked the score, I the 50-50s went both ways, but I'm scoring around 96 to 99 in most of the keys. So I think it should be. Now on CSAT, it's definitely good. It's 93, I think. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. Any advice to the newcomers? How should they proceed? How should they use
Um,
MisFits?
I would say like for most of the subject, especially geography and polity, like if there was any gaps in my knowledge in conceptual clarity or anything, that really helped. They like filled in the gaps for them. And for some of the questions, like you can't run after UPSC. Like this time they asked a few books, they asked a few military exercises. So you can't go around it, but remembering everything. But the questions did come from geography. They did come from a few specific concepts in economics, polity. So you have to at least go with that, and then the rest you have to make conjectures. There's nothing else. It's new for everyone there.
Yeah. In my sense is if, of course, all of you went on and solved the papers as well. But if your foundations were good from MisFits episodes, you should be in good position. Just foundational episodes. If you watched it multiple times, you could have gotten good score. Daisy, your thoughts?
Sir, exactly what you said. I think that worked for me. So I'm scoring around 95 to 105 from different answer keys. And I watched all the MisFits lectures twice. So I could recall less from the books, but I could hear your voice telling me the answers of at least the conceptual and the standard questions. So I only left those questions which were completely fact-based, and I couldn't eliminate any option, but the rest were solvable, and the classes helped the most.
Okay, that's a good score. So you have to quit your job now. You have to ensure that this is your last attempt.
I just graduated. I haven't joined.
Okay, good. Hamshini, what about you?
I'm getting a score between 90 to 100. So I think I'm on the safer side. I'm not doubtful anymore like I was after the exam, because I saw everybody smiling coming out of the exam hall. So I can't, like Sumant, I was questioning myself. I was like, was it so easy? Is it going to be like 110 or something with the cutoff? So it's a 90 to 100. So I think it's pretty decent. And there's definitely a good chance that I'll definitely clear. And CSAT, I'm getting like 98. So I'm not doubtful this time.
Okay, and what worked for you?
For me, the MisFit classes, like blindly follow classes, listen to each and every word, write down if you have to, go through them multiple times. Second thing is come to the fact, like understand and get to know that, like you can't study everything. Like you will not be able to finish the syllabus no matter how many times you give your attempt. Like you just have to trust what you've studied, re-revise them multiple times and hope that will work in your favor. And the calmness that you gave us, like the classes that we met towards the end, towards the exams, really helped me keep in that zone, because I was kind of losing it towards the end. I was like, I've studied so much, I can't remember anything. What will I remember in the exam hall? But I think meeting you on a daily basis that time was really very helpful. So these three things, definitely.
Okay, good. Tanmay, about you?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So I checked from Vajiram and Drishti. In Vajiram, I'm scoring around 96, and in Drishti, I'm scoring around 102. So what worked for me was basic foundational classes of MisFits. Actually, I was on a road trip with my friends almost 1 week before the prelims exam. So all I could do when I came back was revise the notes again and again. And I went through the notes almost 2 to 3 times, and all the foundational questions were from there. Your voice was going in my head. Your lecture on the class of OSD to Prime Minister, that was going in my head when I was answering the questions. And I think around 1 to 2 questions were from that particular class. So it was just like whatever you have told me in MisFits, and this is my first attempt. So I'm counting on you for mains as well.
All right, fantastic. Good to hear this. Amanpreet, after you.
So I checked it from 3 sources, and I am getting between 105 to 1110, and I am clearing CSAT as well. So yeah, so I think like I'll be writing mains, and what worked for me is the foundations that MisFits provided. Like I had studied the books earlier as well, but as you mentioned, it was all mechanical. Like I was not able to retain what the information is trying to say. So the foundation, the lectures helped me understand the written text in the books and what is not written as well, that I was able to make a conjecture on that. Second was the test that you said, like complete all the tests and make sure you revise it. So this was what I liked previously. I did not revise the test in my earlier attempts. This time I made sure I at least revise the test once, and for the full length test I revised it completely. So this is what worked for me. And also revising the themes that UPSC continuously asks from polity, money bills, speaker, and your like Tanmay mentioned how the OSG lecture was really helpful in that particular question. So that helped, and also the conjecture, making the conjecture and taking the risk. If I was able, like this time I tried it, if I was able to eliminate one option, I made sure I attempted that question. So I anywhere attempted between, like I attempted 91 questions this time. So yeah, so this was what worked for me. And during the exam day, the Dravid zone was actually really helpful. And what Satakshi ma'am had said on the day prior was to enjoy the process, like enjoy it, whatever is coming, like whenever the invigilator is coming to enter your roll number, whenever you're entering your roll number, make sure you enjoy that process. So this is what helped me, because during mains, like I had made this during JEE, I had made this blunder. I had like marked my answer book incorrectly, so that ruined my entire attempt. So like that was something going on in my mind, that I have not to repeat this at this time, and I make sure that I enjoy the entire process.
Okay, very nice. Good to hear this, Amanpreet. Raghav, after you.
Good afternoon, sir. First and foremost, um, uh, I am actually scoring around 90, 90 to 92, but I would rather wait for the result. Of course, I'll prepare for mains, but I would rather wait for the result to come. And regarding what worked for me, the Misfits lectures were the foundations for me, because I saw the lectures diligently and I made notes out of it, and I revised it diligently. So the 1 week before the exam, it was very convenient for me to revise the notes, which helped me a lot, because you need to cover a lot of subjects for this exam. So in the last minute, it had helped me a lot. And the second thing is the newspaper reading, sir. This time, I used to read newspaper like almost every day. I read the newspaper till the end of the April month, and it at least helped me in 4 to 5 questions. So it came directly from the newspaper. So that was also one of the reasons how why it helped me. And the third thing is, yeah, as usual, to remain calm and do the paper. And the fourth thing is to revise multiple times, so that it would be in your mind for the longer time, and you could process that in the exam very well. So these were the things that worked out for me. Yeah.
Very nice. And was this your first attempt, Raghav?
Yeah, no, sir. Actually, this is my first serious attempt. The first attempt I had in 2022, I just went and wrote the exam for the sake of it. I was working at that time. I only resigned 6 months before. Like in 2023, I resigned from my work, and I fully concentrated on this exam. So this is my probably the most serious attempt that I have given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Mohammed Asif, after you.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
First of all, thank you so much, Non Bhaiya, for this lovely experience. And what worked for me is the foundations and the Buddha zone, sir. Like what Buddha says, no matter in which situation, what situation, or wherever you are, be calm. Even if Angulimala comes and stands in front of you, be calm. So that calmness gave me a lot of confidence. And second thing, in the prelims, while solving the question paper, I really enjoyed that process, sir. I never thought like this is a punishment, something. I was just foundations were going in through my mind. Foundations were going in through my mind. I was carefully reading the questions, trying to mark whatever is saying, and try to make it a very. So far I attempted more than 90 questions in paper one, sir.
Okay.
Paper
Very
one
nice.
perfectly attempted.
Very nice.
And
sorry, go on.
paper two also, I'm almost 50 to 60 I have done, sir, properly. So because I'm somewhat weak in quant, so I don't wanted to check chance because of the negative marking. In GS1, I was very clear. 90 questions, I made it properly.
Very good. Good job. And I'm sure many of you who are on the sidelines, you will also sail through. Now, first and foremost, I am absolutely delighted to welcome some newest members to the MisFits community. So please raise your hands, whosoever is the newest member of this community. The virtual hands. That's the one I can see. No newest member. All are the old folks. Okay, that's fine. There is one. 2 folks, that's good. 3. I'll wait for a few more seconds. Okay. 4 folks are the newest members who are attending the first ever networking night or networking of nights. Okay, keep your hands raised. So before I interact with you all, and I will do so in time to come, I want to tell each one of you one thing, that this is a special networking event. It is so special that even Shatakshi has to join in. Shatakshi has been traveling extensively and she's joining in from the road. So she may come in, chime in between. So thought of saying this out loud. It is indeed a special one.
Thanks, Naman, for the shout out. Hi, everyone. Always delighted to meet all of you. Naman, over to you. And like you said, I'll only chime in if there will be anything that I think I can add value with. Over to you.
Okay. Now, in this networking event, we may not have the usual breakout rooms. We may not put newcomers in that uncomfortable situation. So don't stress. So congratulations. We will go back to putting you in those uncomfortable situations, perhaps starting the next networking event. Today's networking event is a little different. And the reason we have called in this special networking event is also different. If you think about it, this networking event is not happening on a weekend. This one is happening on a weekday. For the first time in the MisFits history, we're doing it on a weekday. So what could be the reason? Conjectures. Anyone? Vishali, what could be the reason?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
First of all, sir, I'm very excited today to be here as a part of this Misfit family. And I am believing that in one of your posts that you said that that for us, there'll be a surprise. I'm guessing someone here someone eminent personality would be here to, guide us more further, or I don't know. I'm just guessing.
See, the only eminent personality for me is Modi ji. No one else. So unless he comes in, we all are the eminent ones. But okay, it's fair enough. We have better gifts for you, and we'll talk about it in time to come. See, the reason is simple, that the performance of misfits and misfitters in prelims has been pretty good. Majority of misfitters, they have a real shot at clearing prelims. I know I did my best in training you all for prelims, not just prelims, but also mains and interviews. And I'm also glad that until the last day, none of us gave up. There are legit stories of folks who started their holistic preparation just 50, 60 days before their prelims. They were too shy to raise their hands today, and they know that. But they are scoring above 100 in prelims this time around in just 2 months of preparation. And that's remarkable. They followed through on the advice, and most importantly, they did not give up until the last minute. But my job is not done yet. I want to make sure that 100% of you who will clear their prelims, 100% of you should also clear mains this year. Not just that, your score should be amongst the highest ever in the history of UPSC for mains, and thereafter in the interviews. We cannot make UPSC a 5-year plan. This country needs us. Misfitters should be at the core of serving this republic from next year onwards. No one is going to get medals for clearing prelims. I'm glad that you're scoring good scores, but please do not go into that zone of complacency. Even though it is very easy for me to tell you that I've wrapped up the syllabus, why am I meeting you? You should be on your own. Rewatch recordings. And that will, of course, be beneficial, no doubt about that. But I will go beyond it. I would rather tell you clearly and categorically, it is my responsibility that you outperform all the outsiders, all the non-misfitters in this examination, and you all have to collaborate with each other. In fact, I'll tell you one thing clearly and categorically. I will not charge a single penny extra for whatever new we are starting now. And we are starting a few new things. One of the initiatives would be a deep dive initiative. We'll post about it. But for those who are members of the community, the best performers, it's free for them. Those who are clearing prelims, it's free for them. I will be standing with you until the last day, as long as you promise to stand with me in this journey. So let me say one thing very controversial. I do not want you all to relax now. Relaxing now will be a dangerous strategy. I know you have worked hard. You may think it's time to relax, chill. Do not make that mistake. I cautiously ensured and I'm cautiously feeding in your head. Do not take long breaks now. The next 90 days are going to be the most important days of your life. Believe me on this. It takes 90 days of being in Dravid zone to crack prelims. If anyone can be in Dravid zone for 90 days, there is no power on earth that can stop you from cracking prelims. Similarly, if you can be in Dravid zone for the next 90 days, please listen carefully. Anyone who will write mains. If any one of you can be in Dravid zone for the next 90 days, you will crack mains with a really good score. I do not care how terrible is your handwriting at this stage, or how terrible is your writing skills at this stage. All of those things will improve. Do you all remember Dravid zone? Newest members of this beautiful community may have no idea about it. They'd be like, what is happening? What is this Dravid zone? Do not worry. So to all the new misfitters, we have a little secret, and a secret that should remain a secret. Okay? A secret that enables us to remain calm in the toughest of all situations. So I will take 5 minutes.
I think it is time that we rename Dravid zone to maybe Naman zone.
No, it has to be Dravid zone. But I'll talk more about it. So yeah, I will take 5 minutes approximately to give you a small masterclass on this exceptionally important zone. To all those who know this already, please listen to this again. But this question is for those who are the newcomers. Okay, I'll show you a video and tell me your thoughts. Make conjectures. You would have been making many in your classes. Okay, tell me your observations.
A while for him. Well, but this man, good form. Second one, maybe 2 and 2. Yes, it is. What an over for India. Now is that going to be 3 and 3? Yes.
So yeah, Harish, what is happening?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, Dravid is playing here, and I think it's India versus England match.
Yeah.
And he's hitting massively, sir.
So what are the words that come to your mind when you hear the name Rahul Dravid? We can never imagine him hitting sixes like the ones we just saw. So what is this Dravid zone? Of course, we have named this after our favorite player, Rahul Dravid. And this zone is all about consistency. This zone should kick in at least 90 days any time before you write your UPSC prelims, 90 days before you write your mains. At least in your journey, 180 days of Dravid zone is what I need from you. Others could be regular days, studying for 4 or 5 hours, doing things. But in Dravid zone, you have to ensure a few things. For those who are clearing prelims, you have no time. You have to be in Dravid zone for the next 90 days. But for those who will write prelims, continue with your habits of watching through recordings and doing whatever you're doing. But 90 days before the prelims, you have to be in this zone. These 90 days could be the hardest days of your life, but these 90 days will change your life. This is a zone where you need to be consistent at what time you wake up. This is a zone when you need to be consistent at what time you sleep. You need to be consistent with your meditations. You need to be consistent in taking care of your health, both physical and mental. This is a zone, of course, when you need to be regular and consistent with your MisFits classes and whatever I'm requesting you to do at whatever stage you are in. But Rahul Dravid is not just about consistency. Rahul Dravid is also about being patient. No? If you think about it, Rahul Dravid's patience at crease, it is legendary. Yeah, legendary. That's the word I will use. I have not seen a single player with his level of patience. And there cannot be any. 99% of outsiders, they are impatient with their thoughts. They're impatient with their routines. They're impatient with the outcomes. They're impatient with reading questions. They're impatient with learning. And that is why they lose. You need to be patient and consistent for 90 days. All misfitters, you all should understand that our journey in the service of this republic, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So in the Dravid zone, you need to, of course, be consistent, but you also need to be patient. Being patient allows you to focus on slow and steady progress on a daily basis. That is very important. Daily basis, you have to have some progress. Of course, there is a nuisance going on that after prelims, you should relax, rest, take a vacation. No, every day you should progress. If you think about it, Rahul Dravid is not just about consistency with routine or just with patience. Most importantly, if you saw that video, he's also about adaptability. We all saw that a few minutes ago. How beautifully Rahul Dravid adapted his playing style. He's hitting sixes in the 20-over games. He's being a wall in the test games. And innumerable times he was called in to fill in for wicket keeping. What is that? That's the hallmark for adaptability. And you all should learn the art of adaptability. Being in your comfort zone all the time is not a good thing. Any change in the external situations, you sweat. Outsiders who are not part of the misfits, they get flustered in a new situation. If paper is little difficult, they will sweat. But misfitters should smile. Misfitters should smile harder when the going gets tough. Being cloistered in safe ecosystem, not always a good thing. The world will challenge you. So we all need to train to be in Dravid zone, at least for 90 days. Ideally, those 90 days should start now. To all those writing mains, when is your mains examination? 20th, right? 20th, what? It's a month?
It's 20th September, sir, and last exam on 29th.
Yeah.
September.
So approximately 90 days are left. give or take. One of the hallmarks of Rahul Dravid, it was his focus, his intense focus on the game that he played. He blocked out distractions. Unlike Vinod Kambli, Hardik Pandya, you don't read or hear about Rahul Dravid's flings. He focused like a Zen because he knows what's the focus, what's the goal. You need to maintain sharp focus during your study sessions. You have to minimize distractions. You cannot be enrolling in endless programs. You cannot be getting distracted with endless YouTube videos. You need to be fully engaged with your materials. And especially after prelims, I have 100% confidence in the foundational lessons of MisFits. People have this penchant to focus more on current affairs, focus on foundational affairs. So all misfitters should ensure that they are in this Dravid zone 90 days from here on. Let's start with 90 days, okay? To all those who appeared in prelims, you have a good news. You're already in that zone. Don't give it away. But that zone is also not an easy zone to be in. Why? What could go wrong? Tell me from practical standpoint, what all could go wrong? Things would have gone wrong, for some of you at least, who wrote prelims. Mentally, you're in that space. You're meeting on daily basis. Some things would have gone wrong, right? Could be health, could be family, anyone who faced such issues? Or possibly avoided such issues? Sagar?
So I was facing a lot of health issues. In fact, I couldn't sit for the whole 2 hours of the exam. I had carried my medical certificate and told them that I'll have to stand in between the exam. So they allowed me to do that. I was standing and sitting and doing all the adjustments. But I think this time around, for some reason or the other, although everything went well, my score is not good. Is not good from what I checked.
How much are you getting?
Getting around 76, 74.
Yeah.
I made a very, very silly mistake. I just had a brain freeze just at the beginning of the paper.
Yeah.
So when we ought to circle the code of the paper, I was very cautious, but I don't know how I ended up on the wrong letter. So that ate a lot of time, me asking for the invigilator to change it and all that. But in the end, I managed to complete the paper. I went through all the questions, but I had to do it by sacrificing the accuracy.
Okay.
So although I attempted about 90 questions, quite a few of them were silly mistakes. So hard luck.
No
But
worries.
everything else, I was just trying to tell myself, I didn't let anything else, none of the factors affect me. I think, yeah, sometimes it happens.
Okay. Don't stress. Let's hope for the best. And if for some reason this does not work out, we'll figure out a different way. Do a special session again after your results are out. So Neendra, your thoughts? So one is bad health. Could be because of poor lifestyle, external factors, who knows? So Neendra?
So what I have seen about a mechanical kind of thing. It harms your medicine.
Sorry, I have to mute you because there was a lot of lag in your voice. Twinkle, after you. I'll come back to you, Sunidra.
Good afternoon. Actually, the week before prelims really challenged my sanity in all ways possible. I actually took most of your advice. For example, when you told us do not drink coffee, do not drink tea, I really thought that I'm in the habit of doing these things and it works well for me. But before on the exam day, I couldn't actually eat anything. I was anxious as well, but I simply could not eat, so I almost went empty stomach. I think I just ate an apple and I left. Sorry, I muted myself on accident. So, but I tried to stay calm. I actually used to make a lot of digital notes, but a week before prelims, my laptop also gave up, and then they were not backup. They were like stored locally. So
Okay.
then again, I had to look through my notes and then make a few of them, and then I think I ended up prioritizing areas that I am interested in rather than some of the weaknesses. For example, I had identified early on that geography and polity is going to need time. So for geography, I could revisit most of the classes. I could rewatch till
Okay.
cyclones.
Let me
So I
reframe
was
the
happy
question.
about it.
So, of course, we have realized there are two ways to work around things. One is internal strategy that we have mastered, of being in that mental space of being in Dravid zone. Second could be the physical space of being in the Dravid zone. In the physical space could be, where do you live? What kind of ecosystem is around you? Anyone face challenges with that ecosystem? Or is facing challenges with that ecosystem? How many of you have moved to Delhi for preparation? How many of you are preparing from these zones? Delhi, Bangalore, what else? I don't even know what all zones are there. Nishikant, based in Delhi?
Yes, sir. I'm in Delhi. I live in earlier I live in near Mukherjee Nagar, but recently I
And are you
shifted
from
to
Delhi?
Patel Nagar. No, I'm from Bihar.
Okay. Shivansh, what about you?
Hello,
Yeah.
sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, I'm staying in Delhi for the past 1 year.
Mhm.
So this time I prepared really well for the exam, and but a big blunder happened with me is that I slept for only 2 hours. Although I went to sleep at 8 p.m., I thought
Mhm.
let's take a good 8 hours sleep today, but somehow I could not sleep till 2:30, and somehow I managed with 2-3 hours of sleep and went to the exam.
Okay.
I did not eat anything because when the things get digested, I would not be able to focus on the exam. I'm getting 90 to 95 with 2-3 answer keys in GS1, but I don't know. So CSAT, I attempted less because somehow I was feeling very dizzy in the afternoon, and because
Okay.
I had not eaten anything. So might be this time because of CSAT, I'll not be able to write the exam.
Okay. Harvinder, what about you?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Uh, Sir, regarding the question, what the challenges you are facing in the physical space, mind-wise, I was very calm. I was like, कि हो जाएगा. This is my sixth attempt and the last one. Still, I was like, कि ठीक है. I am the part of misfit community, so calm रहना तो is the fundamental thing for me. And I am clearing prelims, sir. But physically, I am facing issues because I am living with my parents, and they both are dependent on me for every small things. uh, from food to many other things, clothes and many other things. Sometimes it irritates me whenever I was anxious because of the result or because of the things like I have to complete these things or any other issue. That's why I was
But are
not
you
even
clearing prelims
able
this time
to
around?
attend live classes because my mother is, yes, sir.
You're clearing it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
So
Think you're on mute. Go on.
yes, sir. I have told to my parents that next 90 days I need your full cooperation. I'll do my best to serve you, but I need full cooperation from your side too. I have told them.
Okay. And I think there are many, many people who may be facing their own personal battles for whatever reasons. But there are some moments in time in your life that are extremely, extremely critical. Let me tell you one very harsh truth. And this harsh reality has really bothered me. And I've stumbled upon many such emails around it. Do you know who, do you know you folks, especially those in Northern India, you folks are at a major disadvantage, not just in cracking civil services, but also in life. What could be the reason? You're facing everything: heat stroke, cold stroke, pollution, dehydration. that you've stopped even thinking about it. You think it's a part of your life, but that's not the case. Many parts of North India and some parts in South India also, they consistently rank amongst the most polluted cities in the world. This includes my own city, Gwalior. It is not surprising. From all factual standpoints, AQI levels are exceeding 300 in some months. That happens. You're very lucky if it hovers around 150 to 200. That is also devastating. In winters, there are instances when AQIs have surpassed 500. You may think, what's the concern with it? The long-term exposure to such high pollution levels on a consistent basis, it's devastating. Whether you like it or not, it will penetrate your lungs. Asthma, bronchitis, respiratory illness, poor immune system, all of that will impact your health, not physical, but also mental thereafter. You may think something is wrong with you. Your brain may freeze at such a young age. And we have highest numbers of cardiac arrests, diabetes, and whatnot. You may blame yourself, why can't you study or focus? But from all scientific standpoints, high levels of air pollution is linked directly to cognitive decline. Directly linked to it. High levels of air pollution is known to reduce attention span, memory loss. Anyone felt that? Be honest. Consistently, they've been unwell for whatever reasons. Aishwarya?
Sir, as soon as you said about lung issues, I didn't want to bring it here. But 4-5 days before my prelims, I don't know what happened. I developed breathing problems and I developed health anxiety. Me and my mother, we rushed to the hospital and the doctor said that it's because of the pollution and everything. And next 2 days, of course, I was studying, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I was having so much of health anxiety that blood is coming out. I'm fine, that there's nothing wrong with me, but even the doctor said that it's because of the environment. And so I think that health anxiety also played a very major role of, I don't think I'm clearing prelims, I'm on the border, I'm clearing CSAT, and your lectures helped a lot, sir. This was my 4th attempt. And I think it's above 80, but I just want to wait for the results once. But that's absolutely true what you said, that living conditions in North India is pathetic, and that has a major role in the productivity factor. Because when I used to, sometimes I went for CSAT tests to Karol Bagh, and when I used to come back, my whole day I was literally on my bed because of the heat stroke. So I think that's a very major factor that you mentioned.
Yeah. Tushar, first thing is to understand what I'm saying. I know this may seem trivial to all of you and most of you, but please have a conversation around it. It's very important at this stage. Go on, Tushar.
Totally agree with you on this one because I used to live in Ghaziabad up until 2022. And in 2023, we moved to Bhopal, and then we saw this drastic change in the air quality of the Delhi and the central India region. The AQI 5300 on an average, and then it was 50 AQI, 100. Can you hear me?
I think your voice is breaking, but yeah, go on.
Right. So we went from 250 AQI, 300 AQI to directly 50 AQI. So my parents and I felt the difference in our levels. We were much more calmer, relaxed, and we were very less anxious and irritated for many, many, many reasons. There were lesser noise pollution. Noise pollution also plays a huge role in Delhi NCR. So yes, I definitely felt that change.
Okay. Charul, your thoughts?
Sir, I totally agree with you. I live in Delhi because of my post-graduation. And 1 month prior to prelims, as you and Satakshi ma'am said, that we need to do our meditation and we need to do some sporting activities. So I was not able to do any sporting activities, but I definitely made sure to walk.
Sports is good. You are in your 20s, and the only exercise that you're doing is walking. Not in your
But sir,
60s or 70s.
I was not able to find anyone like with me with whom I can go for a sport. The area where I live in, people are too restrictive over here. So I thought that one of the thing that I can do is that I can go for a walk at least to sweat things out. And I was doing it from like April till mid-May. 19th May, I remember clearly that I went for walk and I was able to complete from 6,000 to 10,000 steps on daily basis. Along with that, I did my meditation too. But 19th May was the day when I went for a walk and there was this heat stroke that just hugged me. And I was not able to study that day. I was not able to do my paper solving that day. I spoke to my father. My father told me that there's no point. If you are falling sick only, then what is the point now to go for a walk? So from that day until the day of prelims, I kept myself in the room. I went on for essential activities only. Yes, that is the thing. But now today morning I went for a walk. I told myself that it's okay, no matter what happens. I went there. And one thing I want to tell you, I want to thank you. I'm sorry, I'm deviating. Yesterday only, like you're talking about northern India, right? So yesterday I was speaking to my father. I hail from UP, Lucknow. And there are severe power cuts. To all the people who are in UP, they know it pretty well. So I was talking to my father and he told me, while I was talking to him on video call, there was electricity coming, going, and he was telling me that basically the air conditioners have risen up too much, and that is why the transformer is not able to deal with it. The only thing that I told him was this, that you guys are giving me an answer, that this is the reason why it is not coming. Why aren't you talking to your MLA, MLCs, and why they are not doing anything? Because we are of no shortage with electricity, right? They are there to work for us. If I call to a person in the electricity department in the Nagar Nigam, he's telling me, Madam, transformer dag rahe hain, jal rahe hain. Why it is that case? Why that case is happening? Why you guys aren't providing us that much electricity? So that is one thing that my area is facing there in Lucknow, and people there are not able to study also because of this.
Good point.
Yeah.
And for now, I want you to ensure that, identify what are the problems and we have to work towards a solution. Solution to an extent that no matter what, there has to be no excuse to cracking the examination. So let's talk about the problems first. Anyone who faced, because I was devastated to read such emails when people were unwell before the examination. Pavani?
Yes, sir. I was very calm till the exam day. Even when I entered the exam day, I was very calm. Even when invigilator came to me, I was calmly signing because I was doing meditation every day. What actually happened is I was seated in the first row, which is very much near to a board, blackboard. It is like so much near. My desk was at the like just next to the board, and the dust was like I was inhaling the dust in the morning. I don't know, I started sneezing for the first session, and my cognitive abilities stopped working. Like I did prepare good. I was calm. Everything went well. I managed to do everything good, but it happened like that. I felt I performed good only, but I couldn't think much on each question.
How much are you scoring, by the way, in paper one?
It's around 72, 75.
That's problem.
Not up to the mark. But CSAT in the second round, I was adjusted to that blackboard and the dust. I did it good. I'm scoring above 100.
Okay, good. Shell is from Delhi.
Yes, sir. The Sir, for 6 years of my life, I traveled from East Delhi to South Delhi when I was studying and working in the same hospital. And those 6 years, I'm still recovering because I inhaled so much pollution. Although South Delhi is so-called posh area, but the pollution, the air quality is crossing still 500, 600, and I'm still recovering from that. Though there is no like preparation में कोई कमी नहीं है जो भी like process we were following, but the environment, sir, I don't even step out of my house. I mean I just go to the gym that is just like outside my street, but I don't have the capacity now to even travel and meet my friends to
This
South
is
Delhi
happening
or
when we are in our 20s. That is concerning for me.
yes.
Rohit?
Sir, I don't have any experience like that, but I have a concern around this. So, is it good to serve a nation in the comfort environment at the cost of our own health? Is it? What would you advise, sir?
Okay, we'll come to it. First and foremost, we have to be ready to serve the nation. We need to be in that core position to serve the nation. So for that, we have to ensure that we are not serrated in a gas chamber. Because whether you like it or not, it's a competitive examination. You're competing with others. From all scientific standpoints, high levels of air pollution, it's known to reduce attention span, memory loss. Many have already felt it. It would be late to realize this, but they have felt it. In your 40s, you may think, I wish I'd changed my location. Not just that, basis one of the studies, just going through one of these studies, people living in areas with high levels of pollution, they are at a 17% higher risk of developing clinical depression. And that is happening. High pollution levels can cause sleep disturbances, insomnia, poor quality sleep. And over longer durations, all of that can and will affect your cognitive functions. In turn, what you may do, you may snap at your parents, you may blame them, you may fight with them. That anger, poor immune system, it is not an ideal place to begin your preparation. It is not a surprise when some of you, when you went inside the examination hall a few days ago, what did you notice? Less than 40% came in to write the examination. Why? And I can bet majority of them will be from northern part of India or those cities that are very polluted and populated. Of course, they may blame the circumstances. They may think that they were not prepared well. Perhaps they lacked the diligence. Fact of the matter is they have been living in a gas chamber for so many months. So they have forgotten what a healthy life looks like. It is a shame that in your 20s, you have to settle for walking. That's your exercise. In your 20s. Had you been in your 60s or 70s, walking is a good exercise. In your 20s, it's a compromised life. You will be surprised the miracles a healthy, well-functioning body and mind can achieve. The efficiency. The people who live in the coastal belt, people who live in those less polluted, less populated areas, you may be sadist. You may think, see, my 70-80% competition gone, eliminated on its own. Not kidding, this happens. Especially for those who just moved to Delhi. To all those who moved to Delhi, congratulations. You have made the biggest mistake of your life already. Why? Because you allowed a useless TV series and a few YouTube videos to ruin your health. 1 year is a substantial amount of time. The population, the anger, the pollution, poor lifestyle, poor eating habits, all of those things will hamper your chances. 90 days in that cloistered, overly competitive, distracted, ill-informed place can be devastating. So mentally, we are in a Dravid zone. Physically, what can we do? We cannot leave it to chance, right? We'll work very hard. Eventually, a health scare. The one way would be you can stay with your parents. They are supportive. And 100% of you will have supportive parents. Parents' love is unconditional love. No conditions attached. But living with parents after a certain age in life, it can also create pressures, anxiety. And again, many emails tell us the same story. Anyone facing that trouble of living with parents? Many homes may not have a dedicated quiet space. In many homes, especially during festivals, your relatives will come in. And then, of course, your parents will have high expectations. Constant questioning that may create pressure, anxiety, even though they do it in right spirit. We cannot blame our parents, no matter what. But that happens. It's, of course, a privilege to live with them. But many times, it can also have counter effects if you are not in that ideal ecosystem. Even though parents may try their best to create that, but can be problems. Vijaya, any thoughts?
Yeah, so mainly due to this reason, I had to shift to Delhi because at my home there was the social life is really brimming over here, and then my parents' reason was just that because of your decision to get into this zone, we can't stop living our life. So the guests were incoming, even though I have a separate dedicated room, a different floor, but still the environment was I find Delhi very peaceful in that way because there's no disturbance, there's no influx of people, no questioning, no, every time people are inquisitive, when is it going to happen? Where is your level of preparation? When are you going to clear it? And just there are multiple guests
And
coming
Vijay is
and going.
absolutely right. For these reasons, people move to Delhi. That's the safest option. Very easy to convince your parents. Delhi is a zone for UPSC preparation because movies have told us. So let me live in gas chamber for a few months. I'll meet many friends, eat unhealthy food, barely walk, perhaps go to the gym. But then just no show up before the examination. Kalpana, your thoughts? And nothing wrong with it. That's the
Good afternoon,
strategy.
sir.
Yeah.
Shall I go on?
Yes.
Sir, actually, I'm not living with my parents, but the environment at my home, like my parents and all of them, they are study oriented. Like they won't try to disturb. But always, as you mentioned, festivals and something, small issues keep on happening in home. Actually, so I cannot study. Even during my previous UG time also, whenever I get vacation, I would prefer if I have exam, I will stay in the hostel and study. And the second thing is that when you live at home, some things like health of the parents and all these things, they become more concerning issues. When you are away, you think like they will manage somehow, but when you
And
are
that is a
directly in
concerning issue.
touch,
It's your parents who will take
yeah,
their responsibilities.
yeah.
But the funny part is, even your parents may not want that. They may want you to study, work hard, and you need that span of time. What if you all clear prelims and for next 90 days, you're stuck in a very terrible situation? You can't make that mistake. I have to ensure that my ratio is 100%. Mamshini, you have thoughts? I think you live in southern India, right? Doesn't have that issue.
Yes. Yeah, I was actually living outside of India for most of my life in a very, very less polluted place. So even this was a little too much for me when I moved here.
Okay.
And for me, even more than the pollution, it's about the people at home. Like my parents are they're like, you have to study, you have to clear this. This is why you've come back to India. You have to get in. But then when people come home, they don't know, nobody knows I'm preparing for civil services. So they expect me to come down. And being the eldest in the family, like I have to be there. When there's a problem, I'll have to talk. I know my parents can handle it, but then like the expectation that I have to show my face everywhere, no matter what happens, is like it's very concerning for me. Like no matter how hard I try to stay away from it, I keep getting pulled into it. And having a kid also is it's even worse because then I have to go to a school. It's about everything. Like I have to show up as a parent
Okay.
there. So it's been very distracting.
Okay. So there are benefits also of leaving the home and moving to Delhi. Okay. Benefits in the sense networking opportunities. You get a dedicated study environment. That is all what you hear. But I think it's all nonsense. In the quest for a network, you end up forgetting your net worth. You keep on networking with the losers. And then you keep on getting distracted. So what we're doing is, and here's the first gift. There are 3 in total, by the way. The first is we're opening the House of Misfits, aka Dravid Zone. Okay. But for now, it is only for 6 people who will be clearing prelims. If any misfitter wants to get into Dravid Zone for 90 days, and that may happen, we'll keep on rotating. You will have the opportunity to live in that Dravid zone of calmness and EQI levels around 5 or 10. House of Misfits, aka Dravid zone, is established 20 minutes walk from a beach in South Goa, amidst the nature. See, UPSC preparation in Goa. Who would have thought? $90, that's just opening slot. You will not have to worry about food. All of the 6 folks will have to follow on a stringent routine. You'll wake up at 7 a.m. You will meditate 15 minutes every morning. 7:30 to around 11, you all will study your optional. 3 hours, you will wrap up GS. 1 hour, you will go out for jogging at the beach or any other activity. You can play football, sport, swim, but that is very critical. 1 hour evening, all 6 of you who are writing mains will spend time discussing whatever you have learned that day. You will do this until 20th August. 20th August till 20th September, you will be given hundreds of A4 size copies. And you know the reason why. You will be required to do daily answer writing practice with whatever knowledge that you have acquired. 30 days before your mains examination. That's when the actual answer writing should begin. Archita will send you the link with more details about the House of Misfits. Of course, it will be subsidized housing for all of you, only the misfitters. But for now, we are prioritizing those who have realistic chance of cracking prelims this time around. Even if you're on the sidelines, you can still apply, but do mention that you're on the sidelines. We may create a separate group for other 6 accordingly. I just want those 6 misfitters to only focus on the core goal for the next 90 days. Not worry about anything else. Many of you may think UPSC preparation in south of Goa. That is exactly what I want from you. I want to create a dedicated space for misfitters, where they can study with minimal disruptions and interruptions. I want to create an ecosystem for misfitters where they're amidst the nature. Extremely important for your mental peace and focus. I want misfitters to defy the traditional norm, not follow the herd mentality. If the entire herd is moving towards Delhi, you should not go there. It's a terrible sign. I want to ensure that all misfitters, they live with like-minded peers, and therefore there will be selections of those 6 people. I want to ensure that those 6 folks, they have 100% chance of scoring the highest in mains. They have the mental space of being in Dravid zone and also the physical space. And hopefully those 6 folks will be roommates even in Labasana next year. No 5 attempts. Of course, you may think, why just 6? Because we are also working accordingly. We have to ensure that it's an expensive place, by the way. You have to ensure that you live. And we also understand, that you may also have your financial burdens. So it's heavily subsidized. So you have to negotiate terms accordingly. In time to come, it will open for everyone. So whenever slot opens up and you want 3 months of dedicated Dravid zone physical space, you have a home in Goa. And of course, it's subsidized. You're not in the government of India position as of now, and still you're getting access to such subsidized housing. But for now, we are opening it only for those who have written their UPSC prelims this year. Who have written their UPSC prelims. The House of Misfits will focus on the balanced and healthy approach. We'll start small, but we will begin. Any questions up until here? All of you unraise your hands. Anyone, any questions? Of any kind? Okay, Sunny.
Sir, I want to ask, I am not clearing the CSET, so can I apply? I'm scoring paper on 92, but
I'm saying clearly, priority will be given for those 6 folks who have a realistic shot at clearing it, the examination. Okay, you can apply, but you can mention this in detail. Depending upon the interest, we'll see negotiate more real estate and see if we can accommodate more folks. But its slots will open only for 3 months. I want to experience it, you to experience it first. I don't want any one of you to make commitments of 1 year. It's nonsense. In many industries, this happen, 1 year, better situation, but I know your reality. First, experience things for 3 months, see if you're fitting in. Ideally, you should. And then proceed further. I also want to ensure that maximum misfitters, they get a chance to live in that house of misfits. Divyanshu?
So good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everybody. So can you please explain me the that you have just explained regarding AK, Dravid zone of Goa? I didn't understand any of it.
What?
Hello?
Yeah. I
Hello,
cannot
am I audible?
understand. Yes, you are audible. Can you please repeat the question? There is terrible connection, so I'll come back to you again, Divyanshu. Okay. Rohit?
Yes, sir. So Divyanshu was asking about the cost and everything about the stay
Okay.
and all.
Cost and stay, everything will be informed, I think, in the document that Rajita will publish. But we will ensure it's highly subsidized and will be much less than the one that you may pay in Delhi. And I will also, personally, I want to ensure that you also have access to swimming pool. It's a good workout, swimming. If you don't know how to swim, you can learn. So yes, of course, I want to ensure that you are in the nature. So there should be big balconies. And honestly, it has to be closer to the beach. So anything that goes beyond 20 minutes walk from the beach, no, that's not a part of our property. Okay. So you get a sense what it would be like. But please make sure whosoever is part of it, you have to follow through on a routine. If we figure out that you're distracting, you are moving ahead, moving away from that routine, we will have to request you to move out of it. Simple. Of course, Delhi has many distractions, but Goa can also have some distractions. So there will be a warden who will ensure that you are not getting distracted. Avni?
Will we be waiting to register until the prelims results? Because category-wise, there is a difference of the marks that we should be getting, right?
Okay, so if you are sure that you are getting in, I would advise you to apply for it. But if you're getting in for 3 months, you have to follow through on the routine. If for some reason you're not able to crack the prelims this time around, we may see if we can internally, do something around it and put you with those people who have missed the cutoff so they can prepare accordingly, because it will be group-based studying and learning and activity. But we want to do it ASAP because mains are due. And I don't want you to be readjusting to your schedule, new location, once results are out. I want you to do all those adjustments before the results are out. Okay, after the results, you should have clear-cut focus and goal. Both physically and mentally, you have to be in that zone. Archita will also, put in that document, there will be some photos also. And accordingly, we'll unbid the candidates. Generally, ideally, it should be open for North Indians, generally, for Southern folks, that they are already living in bliss. So go on.
No, sir. I was just going to ask, what if more than 6 people clear the prelims from MisFits?
So then we'll negotiate more properties.
Okay.
But whosoever is getting in there, we have to ensure 100% success rate for mains. This also ensures that there will be mains test series that you have to, whatever that optional test series is, you will be doing it in a correspondence way. You sit in at your house of misfits For 3 hours, you write your papers, you scan it, and you submit it. It is an advantageous situation for all of you to not be in Delhi around this time. That's one thing. Okay, there are going to be many questions. We'll come to those questions later. But this is one thing that I wanted to say out loud. Okay, and in time to come, we'll open it for all the misfitters. But for now, we will have a limit. Preference is for those who have written prelims this time around. Those who may write in 2025, we may open it for 3 months if you want to be in that physical space. So there will be a dedicated link. You can keep on checking how many spots are left, how many spots are open in whichever month. But for now, for 90 days, we're opening it for those who have written their prelims and are good in terms of surety of clearing the examination. Shatakshi is also here. She wants to speak anything? I'm not sure if she's here.
I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm hearing everyone. Over and above, Naman, what you have said, I think 2 more things. I think you do not realize the value of good air until you experience it. My parents live in Noida. As much as I would like to negotiate with them, they refuse to move out of that place. And I think old habits die hard. That's the problem that they're facing. But ever since I went for my undergraduate institute, I have lived in Delhi for 10 years. And even though it struggles with a lot of problem of pollution, I would still say Delhi has my heart. That place made me who I am in terms of getting me started. It has my emotions. But the question is, would I go back and live in Delhi in 2024? No. So the charm of our national capital and the nearby allied areas is unfortunately going back and going low. And irrespective of the house of misfits, this is a very important question that you should ask yourself. Where to live? If you're coughing all the time, if you are having a brain fog in the morning, how the hell do you think you can come in the top 0.1% of this country? So that's one. And I remember when I landed in Boston, this was my first international trip ever in life. I sat in an international flight really delayed than a lot of my peers. I realized what the hell is good air. So you do not realize it until you experience it. So I hear you, I can understand that you might have emotional attachment to a city. Everyone has. So with UPSC journey, without, it's a very important question that you need to ask yourselves. That's one. Second, while Naman and I have been extensively working to create an extraordinary ecosystem for those who are about to clear prelims this year so that you have the good ecosystem. By the way, they say that good habits do not come from motivation. They are just an output of ecosystem. If you do not have sugar in your house, you will not eat sugar. Simple. What's the point of curbing your instincts of eating sugar when there is sugar in the house? That's all what we are trying to crack here. I would want to, and Naman and I have to discuss this. The place in House of Misfits has to be always earned. So even if we may open it for the others at a later state, there will always be a parameter of merit. If we are taking 10 steps ahead for you to make sure that you win, you have to make sure that you're taking those 5 steps ahead that you win. You have to show us why do you deserve that seat. All right. Of course, that's a latter answer. That's not an answer right now because currently we have an objective criteria. But we want to make sure that you are winners in life just because you took a bet upon yourself by joining Misfits. So those are 2 things that I thought of sharing from my own personal experiences. Naman has beautifully answered a lot of your questions, which are legit. Naman, over to you. You can share anything else that's on your mind or any other agendas that you may want to cover with the folks.
Okay. Thank you. Second thing is another gift. It's around a new initiative called Deep Dive. This initiative is only for those who will write their mains in 2024 and will write their prelims in 2025. Okay. In the outside world, you may see that, some links where you have to pay some money. Don't fall into that trap. For all of you who are already part of MisFits, it's free of cost. Ideally, for those who are the best performing MisFitters. Okay, if you may appear in 2026, don't worry about it. You can join it later. But ideally, those who are appearing in the examination in mains 2024 and prelims 2025, they will benefit. Foundational lessons should also be combined with a deep diveness of international relations, polity, economy that we may discuss in that initiative. Deep dive. All the aspects of current affairs, from Financial Times to Hindu to Indian Express, all of that will be discussed. Especially for those who may write mains, you will have to quote some facts and data from current affairs. From that point of view, deep dive becomes important. And for those who may write in prelims, of course, current affairs to some extent can be covered. Now, to all those who are sure of getting their names in the list, clearing prelims, you have a few tasks to do until Sunday. Until Sunday, figure out a way to get access to past 10 to 15 years of solved papers of your optional subject. Download the answer keys of those who have topped their optional subject. And devise a strategy on how you would go about preparing for your optional. Don't fall into the trap of crash courses. For optional papers, especially pol science, public administration, and a few other general studies oriented optional subjects, you see a huge overlap. You will see repetition of questions in the mains answers, mains examination. Cram it, learn it, do whatever you want to do. And combine that theoretical learning with whatever we may discuss in the deep dive initiative. But have some strategy in mind. Every day, 3 to 4 hours should be dedicated to optional. Every day, start watching episodes of Ethics. Probably on Sunday, I will teach you everything about how to write an essay. And that will make you, and that should be in a way that you're able to score the highest ever score in UPSC examination in essay. To be honest, essay and interview are the easiest of all UPSC papers that will actually decide your rank. Because there is so much of subjectiveness in those papers. So I want every misfitter to score the highest ever mark in essay paper. This paper will decide and dictate your rank. And this paper should be your strength before the results are out, at least. Okay. So see some questions around essay. Don't worry too much about it. Just look at some questions of essay and download anything, everything that is to be there for your optional. Everything is freely available. So we possibly meet on Sunday. Archita will float out the document in details for the House of MisFits by today. So all those who are interested, you can fill in your names. There will be selection, and we're aiming for 6 people to begin with. But if there is too many people applying in, at best we can accommodate 12. Not beyond that at this stage. Okay. I wish you all the best, and please stay healthy. Take care of your mental health and physical health. Good luck. More details will be on the LinkedIn group. Shivansh, your question?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm so sorry. I got a very important call. Sir, could you just explain the deep down initiative in few words? I missed the part.
It's whatever the name suggests, deep dive. Deep diving into the aspects of polity, economy, and international relations. Ideally for those who are writing their prelims in 2025 and mains in 2024. Pushpanjali?
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Sir, can you just advise for the people who are on the borderline, like they are not sure like clearing or not, because I am also on the borderline. I am planning to take vacation for a few days because I'm too much exhausted during the preparation time. Any suggestion for
Preparation should be fun. It should not be exhausting. If you're getting exhausted, then something was wrong in your preparation methodologies. It should actually be something that you look forward to doing. So people who are on the borderline, I think you have to decide one thing. Do you want to write this examination again? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then different methodology. If the answer is yes, then you have to get back to the routine. Whatever mistakes happen, you should ensure should not happen. But please don't stop living a life. Your routine should have all components to it. Okay. I wish you all the best. Good luck. Take care.